in just life in general, some days are always gonna be better than some. Sometimes people ask me like, how are you always so happy, and how are you always so energetic, how are you always so motivated? And it's not a matter of always at all, but it's a matter of understanding my mission. Like really, yeah, it does come back to my mission and my vision. It's almost like you give yourself no choice. And when you are floundering, and when you are having doubts, and when you are feeling like, you know, it's impossible, you can always come back to that mission. You can always come back to the vision. And if the mission and the vision are really who you are, they're a part of you. It's not something external to you. They're a part of who you are. And so when it's a part of who you are, like I feel like it's embedded in me, like this is just what's going on. The challenge is around a particular goal that's on the way to getting there. And so no matter how bad the challenge gets, it's like at the end of the day, but I still need to get to I still have to fulfill my mission. So it's almost like...
Nicole, I cannot begin to tell you how the thing just turned up from evening. All evening is just beer, excitement, gems. I mean, all kind of something. The thing just.
No pressure, right?
No. Anyway.
As that's supposed to make me get excited. I was just like, what the hell? No, I'm actually really glad it's been going well.
No, man, it's been going well. And
let me turn on my winning sign. Let me turn on my winning sign, please.
Winning!
We have to set the stage, sis. So first of all, happy, how do I pronounce it? Cancerversary?
Yes, Cancerversary.
Happy Cancerversary. I'm very glad that I met you. I'm very glad that you're my friend. I'm very glad that you lived. I am. Yes. I'm happy that you lived because the world is a better place for you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
And I do love you. And I'm happy to see you happy.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, girl, because you know the things, right? You know the things from a long time about
yeah.
All the things. Okay.
I've been keeping up with the, yeah. So it's just even more happy to see you in this place right now.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I want to share, guys, that I had to have Nicole on tonight because Nicole is that friend that I call when I know I'm stuck on stupid, right? Because Nicole not going mince no words with me. She never pretty it up. I remember, you know which day I knew you were that person? I had posted something. It must have been like 2 years ago. And I had posted something about my book and about my journey and how I was just in appreciation of whatever. And somebody jumped on. Literally like 2 different posts I put up. And somebody jumped on and started cussing me off and tell me how my story, this and that. You remember that? And I was like, Nicole,
there's a part of my brain that just forgets trolls. So it's just like, I don't think I remember because I kind of wiped those things.
That's what it was. It was a troll. And I said, how you manage this? Because you have how much hundreds of thousands of followers. How you manage when these people come on and just like crashing your little heart. You try to share your story and I try to impact life. And Nicole said, you have 20 minutes to bawl and wallow and then you get on with it. And I said, okay.
That sounds harsh.
Let me do that shit. So I took my 20 minutes and I wallowed.
And you have to call all the people. You have to call all the people that you want to complain to in that 20 minutes, okay? Because you know you can't wait to tell your friend how this person did this. So you have to give yourself that time, right? But then you have to move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I was hemming and hawing, guys, about this experience, because Nicole has been through her own launches and she had her first book launch and I was there and it was so fabulous and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to sit down and I want to sign books and I want to do this and I want to give a speech and I want to rare. And I was like, it never, no. And I was
Yeah.
like, hi, Nicole, how are you? And I try and put it up, you know. And she was like, no, you need to do it. You need to do it. You know,
Virtually.
Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the point is, you know, I've really learned that life, no matter what, is gonna throw you curveballs. It just is. And you know, when you look at a successful person and you're seeing their life from the outside, you tend to make this assumption that, oh, things are going right for them all the time, or you know, things like that. And I just haven't found that to be true. The fact is that life is happening to all of us. And you know, at any given point, we all get, you know, have setbacks and we get thrown curveballs. And since, you know, COVID, I mean, has thrown many curveballs for many,
That's
many
the Lord,
people.
the global curveball.
The queen of curveballs. But the point is that, you know, I've found that successful people, it's not that life is happening to them any differently. It's just that they're reacting differently. In other words, they don't stay in denial or in frustration slash blame or complain for very long. They don't reside in that space because they're solutions focused. They acknowledge the problem, so they're not in denial. They acknowledge the problem. They know the issues, they face it, but then they're like, okay, so what am I gonna do? That's happening. How can I spin this? How can I, you know, come at it from another angle? How can I keep the goal but be flexible about the means? And that's it, you know. And I challenge you, actually, Stacey, to imagine if this had not happened and you had kept the plan that you had versus the way you've done it here. I think the way you've done it here, you've had more impact.
Oh God. Oh,
you
God.
just have. So can you imagine what you thought? It's in the Bible. It's like what you you know, I forget, I can't even quote it. It's like you would say what the devil intended for bad, God intended for good. In other words, you get these big disappointments and you think, my God, this is the end of it, and you feel crushed and you have to cancel the reservation here and you have to lose money over there, and you're like, oh. But then if you keep moving, you find out that the next door that you open or the next opportunity you take advantage of could be better than even what you lost, and you can't believe that you were there sitting moaning about what you lost. When what you've done here, I can just tell you it from like a plain impact perspective, because now you're reaching women all over the world, you're reaching women all over the country as well, no matter like if they would have been invited to your launch or if they would have shown up, if they would have even known about it, because you are leveraging now lives so that now they would know about it. Like, you know, the people in your network, like me and Naomi and Crystal and Rochelle and everybody, it's like no, everybody who follows us knows about what you're doing now, and you get the alert when people are going like, you couldn't have done that, what you were going to do, like a physical release and take some pictures and hope people post them, like it never would have worked like the way this is working. So now you start to ask yourself, do I even want to go back to that physical? I don't want to do no more. I don't want to see no more physical launch, first of all, then to how it's expensive and don't give you the bang of this.
Girl,
are you joking?
Talk about low tech compared to the gallery where we had a rent that I had reserved, and the bar and the ray and the tay. Yes.
I find that God wants to move in our lives, and we have to actually listen. You see, if we don't listen and be willing to be flexible and to trust him, we lose so much. So it's part of just moving with the flow of your life and not trying to, you know, make the impossible possible. That's what we lose in frustration. Like you sitting down wishing COVID didn't come and cancel the launch. Like, okay, but it came.
And it's so much better because I'm able to have so much more of a shared experience. I pay it forward. It's like I feel like I have, you know, done my job with this book already, just based on the amount of positive comments that have come up. So much people tell me thanks, people I've never seen before. Thank you so much for creating this environment and this space. And it wouldn't, you're absolutely right. You know, so I accept whichever challenge you want to drop, my girl, may I accept it? You know, like Naomi said, she'll take your vision, your 7-day vision unlock.
7-day vision unlock, yeah.
Taking the vision unlock challenge, right? We don't go through all of your challenge already, right? So the procrastination.
And some of your own.
The procrastination one was like a mind blower for me, right? So I totally get it now. One of the things that has been really powerful in this evening setting is a personal sharing. So each person kind of speaks to one particular area of their life that they experience pop-downness in, and how it is that they have evolved beyond it, how they overcame it. And as I thought about you, I thought about the fact that you really use your goals and the power of intention behind, putting the power of intention behind those goals to move you and propel you when you are in that space of,
yes,
of just like, yeah.
Pop down.
Yeah.
Of pure pop down. Absolutely. I mean, the truth is that some in just life in general, some days are always gonna be better than some. Sometimes people ask me like, how are you always so happy, and how are you always so energetic, how are you always so motivated? And it's not a matter of always at all, but it's a matter of understanding my mission. Like really, yeah, it does come back to my mission and my vision. It's almost like you give yourself no choice. And when you are floundering, and when you are having doubts, and when you are feeling like, you know, it's impossible, you can always come back to that mission. You can always come back to the vision. And if the mission and the vision are really who you are, they're a part of you. It's not something external to you. They're a part of who you are. And so when it's a part of who you are, like I feel like it's embedded in me, like this is just what's going on. The challenge is around a particular goal that's on the way to getting there. And so no matter how bad the challenge gets, it's like at the end of the day, but I still need to get to I still have to fulfill my mission. So it's almost like you've given yourself no choice. It's either or either. So when you come back to remembering that, I find that to be very useful. But you know what I'm really learning? And my sister Anya, who is the one in Canada, right? Recently I had I don't remember how recently, I think it was before COVID. I just got extremely tired. I was working way too much. So that's something I'm working on actually, is regulating myself better, because I carry a lot of responsibility for the outcomes. I don't ever want it to be said that it was because I didn't put in the work, or that I got lazy near the finish line. Because when you're in pursuit of your goals, there's so many people that just stop short on the
right here. You're right there, and you stop.
Yes. And so I don't want to be that person, but at the same time, it kind of sometimes, I'm an extreme person. I take it too far, and it's like then I have a total meltdown and I can't work at all. So it's like logic says to me, I was like, all right, you can't do this, because you're thinking you're doing all this work, and then you pop down and you can't do anything for like 3 or 4 days. Wouldn't it have been better and emotionally easier for you if you had just said, hey, knock, knock? It's like, it feels like another voice talking to me, because the voice of me is like, go hard. And the other voice is like, hey, meltdown coming. It's like, hey, you need to rest, and I heard that voice. When was it? I told you the days you spoke to me was when I was like hearing the voice, knock, knock, go rest your body. Friday, was it? Maybe on Friday.
Yes.
Okay. Or it was Thursday. Thursday was this. And I had all these plans for the weekend about how many things I was going to tick off my to-do or whatever. See, when Friday at 6:18 come, swerve. That was it. Like I had a one coaching call Saturday, but that was like, it was great. It was easy. And the rest of that time, I just rested. I just didn't think about work. I just didn't do anything. I just rest my body. And then Monday, I was able to come back like ready to win, ready to, fight again. And I was proud of myself for that, because Nicole of, 8 weeks ago would have reached nearer to the to the brink. So I'm learning. I've been challenged with that element of self-care. So what Anya told me was, you need to rethink how you think of self-care. You know, obviously the nails, clearly. You know, the hair, right? I'm into my skin routine now, you know. So now I have on my oil for the night. You see how my face shiny?
Yes, no. Look,
My face shiny because I've layered on. I've layered on my facial oil. I have eye cream now, Stacey. Listen, I've upgraded my whole thing. So that's part of my self-care. But then also treating myself well, treating myself nicely. Like, yes, you've done a great job and you deserve some rest now. So just stop.
Disconnecting is also self-care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Self-care and not always being on. And then the part of it too is that you have a full life. So it's not just work and work and work. You know, you have Jeffrey, you have the kids, you know what I'm saying? You have your friends, right? So you have your family, and all those things are a part of what make you feel full. You know, that's important to you, right? So if you're always going for the success and the mission and the vision have to fulfill, those things that are a part of you enjoying the mission and enjoying the vision, they don't get serviced. And that can't work.
No, they absolutely don't get serviced. And the other point is that even when you're serving those relationships, from a time perspective, if you're not serving yourself too, in other words, there's some time that's just for you to, you know, in other words, where you're not working, you're not spending time with the kids, you're not doing any activity necessarily, you're not with your husband, you're just there by yourself, like, hey, it's me.
It feels very odd. I'm like that, you know. I literally had that chat, which is why the book happened, because I really struggle with doing nothing. There's a book actually called The Art of Doing.
I really struggle with doing nothing, which is why the time that's supposed to just be for me, the thought, and especially since all my work is here at home now, the thought will just pop into my head like, oh, you could go and check your email and get the blah, 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 and all your little tasks, and, you know, have everything well written. Wow, you know what you could be doing now? And I keep thinking, and so I find myself tiptoeing into my office like, oh, let me just, you know, and no, at the end of the day, I do find that I'm more creative, more motivated, and happier when I take care of myself in that way. So that has felt like a recent triumph for me. And so my thing is, we're all in a process of, to borrow from Michelle Obama, becoming. I really, really, really believe that. And it's never figured out. You never ever figure out balance. You never ever, in other words, you just sort of do your best. You really do your best, and sometimes you fall out of balance and you pull back.
Yes.
Or go more.
There is this false perception of you're there. So a lot of people look at you, Nicole, and think you are there. Everybody there is, right?
I wonder what that feels like to be there.
I don't know. I don't know what it feels like.
Wait, when you're there, what do you think? What do you feel when you're there? I'm very curious. Do you know anybody who is there? I want to know how they feel.
I mean, if Michelle Obama can write a book called Becoming, and she's still becoming, right? And
I don't know what there even means.
Exactly right. You know, so guys, I'm gonna dedicate one of my books to the giveaway for Nicole, right? Because I think the conversation that we're having here, which is really about pouring into yourself, not just the things that are kind of external that make you feel good, but also the things that are internal, the soul filling things, listening to that voice. Like I talk a lot about, you know, not listening to the voice that I was hearing about slowing down and taking time for myself. And so it took cancer to slow me down.
Oh, wow.
It took a total pop down to slow me down. And it's not necessary. Right?
No.
And a lot of persons, they follow your advice around goals, and they follow the look and the feel of I am getting there, I am there, and they don't realize that there is a lot of self-care that is a part of that. You know, that ignoring of the voice
has to be built in. Has to be built in. has to be built in. And you know what's also helping me is just this decision that I really owe it to myself for my focus time to be my focus time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, that is also something that it sort of ebbs and flows, and you have to realize when, hey, the last few days, if I was more focused, I could have used this time better and even just felt better about my time off. Like when I've really focused and gone in, I feel so much just lighter generally. And you know, in studying productivity and focus, one of the things they do say is there's this law called Parkinson's law, which says the tasks that you have will expand, like your work will expand to fit the time that you give it. And in this COVID period, it's really important for us to be very vigilant about that. While I can really appreciate how much time I'm saving by not commuting and dealing with traffic and having to go to this meeting there and go to that meeting there, and that has always been my pet peeve. I've always loved working from home for that reason.
Yeah.
But you just realize that you have to have yourself in some kind of structure, or else I've named it work creep. And I'm running my own business, 2 businesses. So I know the buck stops with me, and I have more responsibility for the outcome than anybody else. But at the same time, if I don't organize, you're so cute, my son. If I don't like structure my time, the work, especially since COVID, have a way to just be occupying up all of the spaces.
All the time. Oh yeah. All the time.
That would normally, like, you know, it can't work. And I know that if I said to myself, look here, girl, you have till 5:30, you know, after 5:30, that's it, no matter what, then I do better, but you know, for myself. So that is something that I've been working on as of like this week. So I got it done yesterday. I got it done for the most part today. And so tomorrow again, where I just use my focus time, focus properly, and then I know 5:30, that's it. And I'm against the clock in that way.
You're so right. I had to learn about not feeling guilty around creating focus time, and also of letting go of certain things that I attached myself to. In terms of
what do you mean?
Okay, so let me give you an example. You know, as a mother, you have these stories that you can attach yourself to about what it looks like to be a good mom. And
yes,
all of those things take up a lot of time. And I saw
I swear that drove me to postpartum depression. I struggled with that after Lauren, you know. My God.
I had a breast milk story. I have a breast milk story in the book where I took on a promotion right before I had Victoria, right? I took on a promotion. I was working for the Systems and Technology Division of Macy's at the time, so big job. Took on a promotion, and I had to travel with the job. And I did not have, Victoria wasn't planned, and so here comes baby. And I done schedule out like 6 months ahead before even, you know, knowing about baby and all that. I had scheduled this trip to New York. You know, the big 34th Street Macy's. I had to go there and train that entire team on this new system that we were putting in. And I was nursing, and my boss came to me and said, you know, I know you just had a child, and so we're thinking of having somebody else go. No, I can go on this trip. I can do it. And girl, let me tell you something. I flew my ass to New York with my breast pump, leave my baby with my husband at the time, and somebody that was supposed to be coming in and out to help, right? And I decided that I'm going to pump my milk and FedEx it from New York to Atlanta.
Sounds like something you would do.
Yes. And I was staying at the W in Times Square. I'll never forget it. And I called the hotel manager and I said, I need a fridge that has a freezer because my breasts are full of milk and I need to freeze it so I can go to Atlanta. And they said, you cannot put it in our freezer, but we will bring you a fridge. and they brought me a fridge, and I pumped my milk, and I called my mother best friend, and I said, I need to get milk to Atlanta. And she said, okay, there's a FedEx on this street and that street. And girl, before my meeting, I am running with the breast milk to FedEx to carry the milk to FedEx. Okay, clearly I was disillusioned and not focused. But that's, and then, you know, okay, catch me a year later or 2 years later, and I'm here struggling with cancer because I have not been taking care of myself. I've been doing too much, giving too much, going, you know, you don't think about it when you're in the midst of it, because I wanted to be a good mother, and good mothers breastfeed, and so this is a part of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Your identity.
Yes. You understand? So I was clear that there is no excuse, there is no stopping. This was me doing a push through and not recognizing that you're gone for a week, you can go back home and breastfeed the baby.
Yeah, you can pump and dump. You never heard about that? Although that used to break. If I just could. It was just, you know, it felt like you're giving away gold. Like you're literally, because like it wasn't the easiest thing for my milk to even come down. So I just remember being really stressed out about like how much I was getting or not getting, and how much it hurt, and why couldn't I do it right, and just had myself under all of this unrealistic pressure. And so what I've learned about that is at the end of the day, just focus on you and do the best that you can at the end of the day. And it's really good, I think, Stacey, just to continue to be really self-aware, to continue to get to know yourself, to observe yourself, because that's the thing. The minute you stop observing yourself and being aware of how you feel and what make you feel which way, and you know what patterns you might be getting into and what habits you might be building, or you can just wake up and just like things happen over time, and you just wake up and you're like, who am I? You don't want that to happen, right? You just want to continue to just get to know yourself and be like, you know, like it's fun too, like what you like and don't like, and you know, how you change and how you want to tweak your plan for yourself, and, you know, just in this state of design and redesign, and that's okay. And so you can define what good parenting looks like for you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I want you to know, share with us, because I know we're coming up to time. I want you to know, kind of share with us, what are some of the things, some of the tools, because what we have really been digging into are the tools that persons in our community, you know, the people that are in our circle, what are the tools that we are serving up to help people to be intentional about their focus, to be intentional about going after those goals, and at the same time to be intentional about how you do those things, making sure you take care of yourself. So what's on your map right now that you're doing?
So let me be certain I understand the question. You want me to say how I'm doing that for me, or how I help people do that?
Right? What you're offering to the community right now. So
okay, so as you mentioned earlier, yeah, exactly. So as you mentioned, all right, so I have the Goal Accelerator Club, which is a membership club for women. And I see Campbell in here. I wasn't even looking. There might be other Goal Accelerators in here. If there are any Goal Accelerators in here, say hey. But yeah, so the Goal Accelerator is a membership, a monthly like membership club. It's a tribe, and it's really just women with different goals. But just, you know, what we have in common is we're determined to crush those goals. Like we are determined to win. And, you know, recognizing that, you know, there is a way to get it done. It is all possible. Like you might need to learn some things. You might need to retool. You might need to, but there's a way to set up your life to really experience deep fulfillment. And there's a way to get your goals and take back your time and still have your life and just be happy in it. So we all have different things going on. Some of us are entrepreneurs, some are nurses, some are teachers, some are doctors. Like there are all these different types of women, right? But all having in common that we want to up level in our lives. And you know, prioritize ourselves and take care of ourselves. And so health and fitness is an important part of that for well, I think should be for everybody. So, you know, how to focus and be more productive is an important part. We do entrepreneur trainings as well. You know, unlocking your vision is one of the first things you have to do before we move on to any specialist trainings inside the club. So I have a vision board course that was always free inside of the club. And then I decided, I don't know if you remember this, Stacey, but do you remember the days of the 21-day vision unlock?
Oh, yes, girl. Oh, yes. I actually remember when it was just a webinar. I remember the first one. I remember, Nicole, I remember when you come and you're like, oh my God, this webinar is actually selling. I remember that day.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes.
Yeah. So that was 3 years ago when, because Stacey, you know what the truth is? I think my life really started when I unlocked my vision. So like there was a period, you know, when I was 14, I was clear about it, and I posted that Nickelodeon video this week. But then there was like a little lull where I really lost sight of it. I really allowed fear and just imposter syndrome and just going abroad to school, being very, very homesick, but also very insecure about who I was in that new context because I was no longer the smartest person. Like I'd been at my school in Jamaica, and I went through this, I guess, I don't know if I call it an identity crisis, but it's where you feel like, well, what am I good at? What do I bring to the table? It's not enough. It's not like, I'm not good enough to be here. Why am I even here? Everybody seems to have a skill, be really good at something. Everybody's just so awesome and they just get it done. And who am I? And what do I bring to the table? And all I love to do is talk. And I don't seem to be very good at really anything. So who am I? And so I felt then, you know, like I had these lucky breaks in life, and I didn't want the luck to run out. Yeah. So then I shrunk away from really pursuing anything new, really going after any opportunities. I really just played it safe. Let me just go to class, get the grades, you know, let me not get too greedy here. Let me just, you know. And so when I back in Jamaica now, this is after now going to do a whole master's degree simply because I didn't know what to do. And I just felt as if it was a really good answer to give people when they say, hey, so what are you doing now? I'm like, I'm doing my master's. So I went and I did this master's. I come back, I have a good job. I'm just feeling like there is more here. There's something, you know, and when you have that feeling that like you're supposed to birth something or you're supposed to do something in the world and you just do, and you're like, and you can feel it and you're wondering, well, how is it going to even happen? Where do I even begin? What is it even? You know, like, oh my gosh, in my mind, I'm like, it can be so powerful and it can be so big and it, whatever, but then how? And how do people even go from this point to that point? I guess they're just lucky. Yes, and feeling like it's something cut off from you, like you weren't one of the chosen ones. That's what I felt. Yeah, and I was like, no, this. And so I sat down, and that's when The Secret came on TV. This was when I was inside Jeffrey's bachelor pad apartment, you know. And so The Secret came on, and I decided I'd watch it. And it talked about making a vision board. And so I was like, I'm going to make a vision board. And it was really scary because a lot of the things I put on the vision board seemed so out of reach that it just made it intensely. Yeah, exactly. It made me intensely uncomfortable to even dare to dream these things. And like, why do you even want to dream something that probably or might not happen, and do you want to expose yourself to that disappointment if you don't get these things? Or I just forgot it all. I just put down what I wanted from life. And that was when I started to realize, like, it's not luck, it's you taking charge of your life and creating what you want, period, point blank. It was not magic or luck how those other people did it. It's following some principles, doing some things differently, having a certain kind of mindset, executing in a certain kind of way. And then I became very, very, very interested in finding out all of those things. I wanted to know how successful people did it. What are the different things? What are the different areas of their lives they pay attention to?
What's the formula? Yes.
What's the formula? What is it? And that is when I thought, and I just became obsessed. Like, I'm reading everything. I'm going to conferences. I am just, you know, and at the same time, I started my own business, AIM. So I'm, you know, working this business, but I'm just trying to be the most excellent human being ever. Like, I was trying to become like a machine of excellence was my thought. So I'm just studying up everything. And then implementing, not just because some people are forever students, Stacey, you know, and they just have to acknowledge that.
I suffered from that.
This hell, they might join every group. Them know every coach. They might do this and they might do that. And by the time, if you open them head, the amount of knowledge in there, but where's the execution? So I'm trying to like execute at the same time, trial, error, like just trying to figure it out. And then I said, and then I started to have success. And then I turn around and my entire vision board is realized. And I'm like, okay, so you have to actually implement these things, these core principles. You have to have a certain mindset. You have to take 100% responsibility. You have to have a certain kind of self-image. You have to actually be able to tool yourself, like recognize what skills you need to build and then go about building them. You have to, you know, take care of your health and fitness, like they're basic, what we're calling goal accelerator pillars of success. And if you deep dive into them and learn how to make them work in your life, then you're unstoppable. So that's the whole premise of the goal accelerator, is these are the things, no matter which goal you have, whether you want to run the largest company in the world, or you want to be the best this in the world, or you want to be the best that in the world. These are the core principles that without fail for any goal under the sun, these are the things you need to do. That's why I started Goal Accelerator, so we could deep dive into these things that I learned and help to unlock my vision and bring it to reality. So then, but then what I realized is I don't want you to be unlocking and, you know, finding all this success and it's not really your real vision. So we have to spend some time, because, you know, sometimes you're in pursuit of other people's goals, not even your own. It's what your mom told you should do. Yes. It's what you thought, it's what you saw your friend doing, it's what you thought was expected of you. You needed to, you know, fit into this mold, or your dad told you that, or growing up, this is what you saw. No, I want you to really connect with who you are. Because again, in any difficult moment, like we said at the beginning, if it's going to get hard and you're going to have obstacles and setbacks, so you better feel this thing in your gut. Because one major key of success is you have to be willing to keep moving
and committing
forward.
And that commitment has to be there for you to keep going and move beyond the coronas and the other things that are going to come up, because something is going to come up.
Exactly. And for you to just know that when these things come up, that's also part of the journey, because you've been studying the key principles of success, which tell you setbacks are gonna come, so you don't see it and say, oh my God, it come just for me. Oh, no, it's like, oh, see the setback here, I knew that was gonna happen. Here I am moving. So the 7-day vision unlock now. So I started with 21 day 3 years ago. You know, started the Goal Accelerator Club because after 21 days and we went over these principles, you know, 21 days is not enough to really learn. Then the 21 day vision unlock, people were like, we unlocked our vision and then you left us high and dry. We're like, and I think you did talk to me about that one time, sis. You're like, I think you did, yeah. You were like, listen, you help them to unlock their vision and then know they need help. They're gonna go to somebody else. Yeah, you told me that. So then that's when I started Goal Accelerator. Like, let's do an ongoing program where we're gonna have accountability with each other and we're gonna keep learning, because you have to be a lifelong student, I find, of this thing, of this success thing, and you can always up level no matter which level you're at. And so I made the 21 day into, and that was 3 years ago, and I love to think, and I know that I've learned a lot in 3 years.
I see the time, we're checking time of a come on. Tammy been waiting for like 10 minutes. Okay.
Oh shoot.
Yes, so we have Tammy.
You see, oh my gosh, she's so love chat. Tammy gonna be like, I knew that Nicole would be there chatting off her whole face. So anyways, the point is, I took the 21 day, I made it into a 7-day. Because at the end of the day, I want you to be so clear and convicted and ready to step in purpose, and have that vision, you know, clear, so that we can then support with the execution and of it, you know. So yeah, so 7-day vision unlock. That's a long answer, but that's what it is.
Awesome. Oh my God. I just
see Tammy there. Hi Tammy.
Every session,
you don't think Instagram need to improve the thing, and we could have had Tammy and then the 3 of us could have chat?
And the 3 of us on it. Yeah, man, Instagram need to up it game.
Tammy entertains me constantly. I'm going to be tuning in.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Wait, am I supposed to do a giveaway? What's the plan?
Yes, you can give a giveaway. Sure, yes, we're doing giveaway.
But what's the giveaway? What do I do?
So you can, so essentially what we're doing is whatever it is you contribute to the community, they're supposed to go below your post on my page. Make sure they're following me, make sure they're following you, and then put comments about what they got from our session. So anything.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the deal. I offered Vision Unlock free for like 4 days, and now it's a paid program. So it's now $97. So I could give it away for free, but hopefully the person who wins doesn't already have it.
Well, if you already, yeah, no, and I'm gonna throw in one of my books.
Or I could do a book
along with that. Yes.
and I could do a book, but I'm just not sure logistics wise because I don't have books physically. Maybe I could just ship it through Amazon though.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Okay.
I can do a book too.
All right. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you so, girl. I'm hugging you. I can't wait till this over so I can hug you for real. Like,
I know. Tammy, I think this deserves 2 tables from Sasko. What them talking about? Sasko, I hope him down there thinking about Mother's Day, you know, coming in no foolishness this year.
No, it's all the extra mothering that we're doing at home with the kids. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. Love, 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 love.
Love, love, love.
All right. See you later. Take care, everybody.
Bye.